Glidden Lake State Forest Campground is located in the western part of Michigan's Upper Peninsula. The State Forest Campground is located just to the east of Crystal Falls, and it sits on the east side of Glidden Lake. As you first approach the campground, you're probably going to notice the larger sign being for the Lake Mary Plains Pathway, which is a 9-mile hiking trail that can also be cross-country skied that loops around the campground, the lake, and the nearby Lake Mary. Just underneath the Lake Mary Plains Pathway is the sign for the State Forest Campground. The campground does not provide any garbage cans and no dumpsters are on site, so please plan to pack out whatever you pack in and help keep the campground neat and tidy. There are 23 campsites available here at the State Forest Campground. Some of the sites have an excellent view of the water if you get lucky and you get one of those sites. There are no reservations available for this campground. It is first come, first served basis only. I was here late September and the campground was not full at all. However, I'm sure that it fills up pretty good on busy summer weekends as it's a really nice remote little campground. There is one outhouse here in the middle of the campground that everybody shares, along with one hand pump for water here within the campground. There are 2 other outhouses located elsewhere within the campground, so you have plenty of options if you have to go in a hurry. You can see the campsites feel pretty up northy and secluded. Most of the sites have trees and some low growth around them to give you that secluded feeling and help hide your neighbors that are in reality not that far away, but far enough away to make it still feel up northy. You can see here that the campsites, even though they look small as I'm walking through and filming them, several of the sites are actually pretty big. They're actually big enough. You can see that was a pretty good sized travel trailer there. Some of these sites are big enough to fit a large fifth wheel into. Like this one right here, you could fit a couple fifth wheels side by side probably backed up into this site. And you have the excellent water view once you get backed in here. Glidden Lake is not a very big lake. It's only around 29 acres with a max depth of about 30 feet deep. And it seems like it's better bass, bluegill, and maybe perch fishing than anything else if you get out here on the water. Although I saw a few reports that said people went out and tried everything they could think of and threw every lure possible at the lake, and they still didn't catch any fish while they were out here fishing. I did not fish here, so I will leave the fishing quality judgment up to you when you come visit this campground. One thought that did occur to me about this campground is, even though it's up in the UP and it's kind of remote feeling, you don't get a whole lot of road noise and not a lot of people pass through here to use the gravel boat launch, makes me wonder if there's a heavy bear presence in the area. Sometimes I think these campgrounds that do not have any garbage receptacles of any kind probably had removed them because bear were an issue as people were leaving their garbage around and the black bears wandered into the area to eat the leftover scraps. I don't know this to be a fact about this campground, but that's always the first thing that pops into my head when I see signs or notice that a campground does not offer any garbage cans at all. The cost to stay at this campground is $20 per night, and that $20 gets you a picnic table and a fire ring at each one of these campsites. Like I said, there's one hand pump to pump your own water. I would definitely recommend bringing some unless you want to carry it a little ways to the more remote campsites that are farther from the hand pump station. You can see, like I said though, some of these campsites are really big and really nice. And again, running right through the campground, you have the Lake Mary Plains Pathway, which is actually a pretty extensive hiking trip, where I would expect that you probably see quite a bit of wildlife out in the middle of the remote area up here in the UP. There was some construction on the trailer when I was up here. It sounds like maybe they were redoing one of the walkways or boardwalks that go across some water. I didn't hike the whole 9-mile loop, and I didn't need to because it was so quiet here. There was just songbirds and wildlife noises everywhere. It was just beautifully quiet in this campground. As I work my way around the campground, I come up to the last couple of campsites here. This is campsite number 23, really nicely tucked into the trees there. And right along the road here, you can walk up to the hand pump for some water. And then we come around to where you can back down the small gravel boat launch. I definitely wouldn't be launching anything large in this lake. It's just a gravel boat launch that comes out here. Probably a great spot to launch a canoe or a kayak more than an actual motorboat. However, it'd probably be really fun to drop a trolling motor and just come out here and explore. I'm going to shut up for a minute and I'm going to let you listen to just how quiet and peaceful this area really is. For that last 10 seconds that I just shut up there, I maxed out the volume, and as you can tell, there's just absolutely no noise at this campground. There is a really large parking space here at the campground for just day use, if you're someone just pulling up here to fish and park your boat, trailer, canoe, or kayak transport. Other than that, I really like this campground, and I'll probably stay here again sometime in the future.